Let's first start with the historic Supreme Court verdicts that came out today and that are already showing their implications this morning. Now, in a huge relief for the Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, the Supreme Court has referred the matter of the disqualification of the MLAs who rebelled against Uddhav Thackeray to the Speaker of the Maharashtra Assembly, while a larger bench will consider some questions that were raised in the petitions during that court hearing.
That's right. So what it essentially means is that the Speaker, who is essentially a BJP MLA, will decide on the disqualification and, of course, also the fate of the 15 MLAs. But what many have called a moral victory for Uddhav Thackeray, the Supreme Court questioned the role of the governor in calling for a floor test leading to Thackeray's resignation last year, and also said that the whip, the chief whip, will also be decided by the Speaker. So the Speaker is essentially the key player as far as the Maharashtra political saga is concerned. But this case, Priyanshu, will also have implications on future cases as well.
Absolutely. It will set a major precedent for national politics as well. Let's listen into what the key players involved in this case say. Listen in to Uddhav Thackeray, Eknath Shinde and the Maharashtra Assembly Speaker, who will now be making this crucial decision.
जैसे सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने कहा कि अगर मैं रिजाइन नहीं करता, मैं इस्तीफा नहीं देता, तो शायद मैं वापस मुख्यमंत्री बन जाता। मैं मेरे लिए नहीं लड़ रहा हूँ, मेरी लड़ाई जनता के लिए है, मेरे देश के लिए, मेरे राज्य के लिए है। और भले हम इसके पहले राजनीति में विवाद तो होते रहते हैं, लेकिन एक मत तो हमारा हो गया है कि इस देश को हमें बचाना है, संविधान को बचाया है। और इसलिए आप यहाँ आए हैं, हम मिलकर पूरे, आप तो पूरे देश में घूम रहे हैं, सबके घर जा रहे हैं, हम सब मिलकर ये जो अपने देश को फिर से एक बार गुलाम बनाना चाहते हैं, उनको घर भेजेंगे।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निर्णय का, मैं फैसले का तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूँ। ये लोकशाही का, मेजॉरिटी का विजय है। आम जनता के दिल में जो सरकार थी उसका विजय है। और आज के जीत ने जो बार बार घटना बाह्य गैर कानूनी सरकार बोल रहे थे, उनको मुंह तोड़ जवाब है।
The court has never said that Shiv Sena, led by Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, is the political party which actually represents Shiv Sena, or is it Shiv Sena led by Mr. Eknath Shinde is the actual party that represents Shiv Sena. So I am yet to decide that, and the court has not opined anywhere that a particular faction actually represents Shiv Sena. So once I decide that, I'll be able to decide whether it is the appointee of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray or the appointee of Mr. Eknath Shinde, who represents would be appropriate to be the whip.
Now, to understand this verdict more and what its possible implications could be, take a look at this report on what all happened yesterday.
Eknath Shinde survives, as the Supreme Court said the governor was right in calling him to form a government.
आज के जीत ने जो बार बार घटना बाह्य गैर कानूनी सरकार बोल रहे थे, उनको मुंह तोड़ जवाब है।
And submitted his resignation.
The court said Uddhav Thackeray's plea to restore status quo could not be done, as he had resigned instead of facing a floor test. Uddhav Thackeray, who had to resign last year after Shinde's rebellion, called for the immediate resignation of the chief minister, which drew a sharp retort from the deputy chief minister Devendra Fadnavis.
जैसे सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने कहा कि अगर मैं रिजाइन नहीं करता, मैं इस्तीफा नहीं देता, तो शायद मैं वापस मुख्यमंत्री बन जाता। मैं मेरे लिए नहीं लड़ रहा हूँ, मेरी लड़ाई जनता के लिए है, मेरे देश के लिए, मेरे राज्य के लिए है।
आज उद्धव ठाकरे जी नीतीश कुमार जी के साथ एक पत्रकार वार्ता साझा कर रहे थे, और उस वार्ता में उन्होंने ये कहा कि मैंने नैतिकता के आधार पर इस्तीफा दिया था, क्योंकि मैं उनको सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं कि बीजेपी के साथ चुनकर आए और मुख्यमंत्री की कुर्सी के लिए कांग्रेस एनसीपी के साथ आप गए, उस समय इस नैतिकता को कौन से डिब्बे में आपने बंद किया था?
But the Supreme Court's judgment on the disqualification of MLAs in Maharashtra has firmly established the law and upheld several key arguments of the Uddhav Thackeray camp. The court said the political party and not the legislature party appoints the whip and the leader of the party in the House. Further, the direction to vote in a particular manner or to abstain from voting is issued by the political party and not the legislature party. And in a big boost to Thackeray, the court said the governor was not justified in calling Mr. Thackeray to prove his majority on the floor of the House because he did not have reasons based on objective material before him to reach the conclusion that Mr. Thackeray had lost the confidence of the House.
मैंने राज्यपाल पद से त्यागपत्र दे दिया है और मुझे नहीं लगता कि उन्होंने पूर्व राज्यपाल को कोई सज़ा सुनाई है। सज़ा सुनाई होती तो अपील करता, तो इसलिए उनको कमेंट करने का पूरा अधिकार है और उसका आप सबको सम्मान करना चाहिए।
Uddhav Thackeray admits being emotional may have been his flaw, but in the Shiv Sena style of politics, the emotional quotient has always been high. The Thackerays have been attacking Eknath Shinde, and armed with the Supreme Court judgment, they plan to sharpen their attacks as Eknath Shinde tries to consolidate his position with a year and a half to go before the next assembly elections. With Sohit Mishra and camera person Sanjay Mandal, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Well, another Supreme Court verdict has already had implications on another government. And what comes as a huge win for the Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party government in the national capital. The Supreme Court said yesterday that the Delhi government must have control over services that the Lieutenant Governor is bound by its decision. So, of course, it is being seen as a major victory for the Aam Aadmi Party-led government because of that long-drawn battle that the Aam Aadmi Party government has had with the Delhi Lieutenant Governor.
That's right. In fact, that battle over the control of administrative services and civil servants had been going on since 2018, and now there's finally a verdict on that, and we can already see impacts of that, Vedant. The Arvind Kejriwal government has removed the secretary of the Delhi government's services department, and the transfer appeared to be the first of many, as Arvind Kejriwal government is warning of a major administrative reshuffle ahead. But take a look at what the Supreme Court verdict entailed and how the Aam Aadmi Party reacted to it. Laddus for Arvind Kejriwal at the Delhi Secretariat and celebrations at the Aam Aadmi Party office in Delhi hours after a Supreme Court verdict on the powers of the Delhi Lieutenant Governor gave the Delhi government a major win. The verdict also has major implications on many other opposition-ruled states. The Supreme Court has ruled that the Delhi government must have control over services, and the Lieutenant Governor, who is appointed by the centre, is bound by the government's decision.
8 साल हो गए उन बातों को, 8 साल से संघर्ष कर रहे हैं हम लोग। तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि अगर हमारे पास पूरी पावर होती तो हम कितना ज़्यादा काम कर सकते थे। आज हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं कि उन्होंने हमारे साथ न्याय किया।
If a democratically elected government is not provided with the power to control the officers posted within its domain, then the principle underlying the triple chain of collective responsibility would become redundant. That is to say, if the government is not able to control and hold to account the officers posted in its service, then its responsibility towards the legislature as well as the public is diluted.
The Aam Aadmi Party has for years alleged unwarranted interference from successive lieutenant governors and claimed that sanction for this was directly from the top, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah.
जिस तरह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्र सरकार और देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी देश भर में चुनी हुई सरकारों को जिस तरह से असंवैधानिक तरीके से हड़पने का जो मुहिम उन्होंने चला रखी थी, उस मुहिम पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक बहुत बड़ा तमाचा है।
कि जो मुख्यमंत्री का अभी मैंने सुना, उनकी बातों से एक बात समझ में आती है कि जिस चीज के लिए वो छटपटा रहे थे वो उनको मिल गया। उन्होंने कहा कि बड़ी मात्रा में मैं अधिकारियों को ट्रांसफर करूंगा। इसका मतलब आप ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग को इंडस्ट्री बनाएंगे।
Chief ministers of other opposition states are likely to use this verdict for scoring their own political points. In many of these states, from Kerala to Tamil Nadu to West Bengal to Punjab, chief ministers and governors have been sparring for months. And getting you more political news, this about the opposition unity for 2024, and that seems to have a hit now, Vedant, with the BJD president and Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik ruling out the possibility of joining any third front. Now, he met Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday, and that was barely 48 hours after his meeting with the Bihar Chief Minister, the JDU chief, who's also a voice for opposition unity, Nitish Kumar. And after those two meetings, Naveen Patnaik has said that there's no possibility of a third front as far as I'm concerned. So big blow to opposition unity.
That's right, but that has been the Naveen Patnaik formula, hasn't it? Because he has always maintained this balancing act, going after the BJP in the state and maintaining close relations with the BJP in the centre. And that formula is unlikely to change because he's continued to maintain equal distancing from the BJP and the Congress, and he has specified that he will go it alone as far as the assembly elections and the Lok Sabha polls are concerned.
Sir, on the issue of, you met Mr. Nitish Kumar yesterday, there has been, some talk about things. You have always held that the BJD will remain equidistant from both the BJP as well as the Congress. Is there any possibility of a third front? I wanted to check with you.
No, not as far as I'm concerned. Not now.
And what will be the position of the Biju Janata Dal then in the coming elections? You will go it alone in the Assembly and Lok Sabha elections?
That has always been our principle.
And the NCP has been making headlines for all political reasons, but now NCP tall leader Jayant Patil has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in a money laundering case. The Maharashtra unit president of the NCP has been sent a notice in the money laundering case involving the now bankrupt Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services Limited.
And he was asked to appear before the Enforcement Directorate today, but we'll see whether he serves that summon. The probe agency had earlier questioned the Maharashtra Shiv Sena or the MNS chief Raj Thackeray in the same case of a loan given to Kohinoor Construction, the firm that is developing the Kohinoor Square Tower in Mumbai's Dadar. And today we'll wait to see whether Jayant Patil serves that summon.
And moving on to some tragic news now. Telangana has been witnessing a spate of student suicides after their intermediate exams. Those are equivalent to classes 11 and 12. The results were declared 2 days ago. 8 students, including 4 girls, died by suicide in the state, while 2 others attempted suicide since Tuesday. Now, the 8 teenagers were from the capital Hyderabad, and this amid Hyderabad has also witnessed suicides in post-intermediate college courses as well, and there have been various steps taken by the Telangana government as far as the rising suicide trend is concerned.
Right, and it's extremely concerning considering that in Telangana there seems to be a history of student suicides after the intermediate results come out, and even the passing percentage in Telangana is just around 63%, while in CBSE it's around 93%. So what's really wrong in Telangana and what all has happened? My colleague Uma Sudhir reports.
8 students, 5 of them girls, have died by suicide in Telangana within 48 hours after the declaration of intermediate class 11 and 12 results on Tuesday. Education Minister Sabita Indra Reddy has written to teachers to reach out to, support and counsel those who failed. What is shocking is that 1 in every 3 students who appeared for the exam has failed. That makes it a whopping 3,55,000 out of 9.48 lakh students. The pass percent for girls is 70% and boys is 55%.
Government should come up with, measures which would increase the emotional quotient of the student.
Yeah. Telangana has had a history of student suicide deaths after the declaration of intermediate exam results. In 2019, after 25 intermediate students died by suicide, the Telangana government had announced multiple measures, yet students are resorting to extreme measures.
We need to ask this question of saying, why is it that failures are always the student's responsibility and institutions are not accountable for the failures of children?
We need to sensitize and prime our children to say that this is just an exam with some numbers which don't mean anything in long run. Yep. Every school should have a counselor where children can be picked up much in advance, the vulnerable kids.
died by suicide. In a suicide note, he had told his parents he apologized that he may not be able to get the marks to get a seat in the MBBS. On Tuesday, his parents found out that their son had scored more than 89% marks in his intermediate exams. Less than 2 weeks ago, 9 students died by suicide in Andhra Pradesh within 48 hours of declaration of class 11 and 12 exam results. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Welcome back. Let's now get you international news. California is set to become the first US state to ban caste-based discrimination. In a historic move, the California State Senate has passed a legislation that would ban caste-based discrimination in the state. It has been passed, the bill has been passed in the California State Senate, and it makes it the first US state to ban caste-based discrimination.
That's right, and promoters of the bill, being led by a non-profit Equality Lab, said that a similar bill is being introduced in the State of House of Representatives before it can be sent to the governor to be signed into a law. So now caste is also a protected category in the anti-caste discrimination laws, in the anti-discrimination laws, I beg your pardon, and the anti-discrimination laws essentially gives all its citizens entitlement to government-based facilities. And now the latest in the Twitter saga. Now Elon Musk today, in a very cryptic tweet, said that he has found a new chief executive officer for Twitter, but did not name the person, while the Wall Street Journal reported that NBC executive Linda Yasserino was in talks for the job.
That's right. That is the name that's doing the rounds. But let's see who is the official new Twitter CEO. But Elon Musk took over as the CEO last year in October when he bought Twitter. And he's been making headlines for several reasons, removing the blue tick, the legacy blue tick, among several others. But now he has said that I'm excited to announce that I've hired a new CEO for Twitter. She will be starting in around 6 weeks. Musk said that he will now transition to the role of the chief technology officer of Twitter and also the executive chairman within the next few weeks. And now moving on, the new US ambassador to India has now assumed his position, and my colleague Maha Siddiqui spoke exclusively to him. Now, Mr. Garcetti takes charges at a time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi has started preparations to fly to the US on a state visit on June 22, and US President Joe Biden is also expected to visit India later this year to attend the G20 summit in Delhi.
That's right. Ambassador Garcetti spoke on a range of issues. He also spoke about the US's position as far as the India-China conflict along the LAC is concerned. Listen in to Eric Garcetti's first television interview after he took charge as the ambassador.
So I'm curious to know whether this relationship between India and the United States is based purely on the merit between the two countries, or are the two countries being driven closer because of China?
I would say it's a third reason. I think we really like each other. I think we're natural friends. There's something natural about the U.S.-India relationship. It's not transactional. It's relational. Secondly, then we realize not only do we have an affinity for each other, but we do have mutual interests. And it's never going to be defined by any outside party. We might have China or others where we have the same worries. For you, it's the borders. We share those concerns for you. But we both share the concern of any one country in the world manufacturing all of the solar cells or controlling all of the critical minerals. We have a mutual interest in making sure that that's shared across all of our borders. But I really do think it stands on its own merits, on its own affinity, and on its own warmth. And to me, that gives me a lot of confidence. This isn't about a strategic moment. This is about two countries and two peoples that want to spend the next century together.